This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Several years ago, I was dealing with a case of the blues during the holidays, and therapy was a bright spot amid all the stress and anxiety. Something to look forward to help me feel grounded, and to provide me with the tools I needed to manage everything that was going on.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Yeah, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw. On today's episode, we're talking about AEW Dynamite on the road. Final stop before Full Gear. This Saturday, we're going to be doing our live reactions across both platforms on the YouTube and the Twitch, so be sure to check us out. Of course, we've got our big predictions challenge kicking off this weekend as well with Full Gear, going into next weekend at WWE Survivor Series. So if you want to check that out, if you want to participate, patreon.com/Steven Larson, youtube.com/Steven Larson. Click join over there, and you get a bunch of other stuff like bonus episodes and access to our questions threads. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun watching wrestling with friendos, especially those long AEW pay-per-views.
Oof.
Those long ones. A lot better when you got some friendos with you, man. Let me tell you what.
That's correct. That's going to be a long day this Saturday. I'll tell you what.
What?
We got some intrigue going into Full Gear, not just in terms of who's going to win these matches, but also Tony Khan, TK himself, took to the Twitter yesterday, a couple hours before Dynamite, to make seemingly a pretty major announcement, but rather than do it on the show and advertise in advance, he's like, I'm going to put this up on Twitter.
Probably a smart move, given the backlash of the last announcement.
To announce that you're announcing a signee. Yeah. So this is what Tony Khan tweeted, quote, AEW has agreed to terms with one of the world's best wrestlers, a pro who is known plus respected by virtually every AEW fan. They'll come to LA to sign their contract this Saturday at Full Gear. I haven't heard or seen any other inside information about who this might be. Tons of speculation we'll get to in a second, but on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer stated the following. These transcripts come to you from Wrestle Talk, quote, I know two people have told me who it is, and they have two different names.
What?
I don't know that anyone really knows.
Wow.
So does someone say it's like it's not Dolph because the non-competes for the last round of WWE releases haven't expired yet? Someone said it's Dolph. The other one said it's Nick Nemeth.
So
Two names, same person.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you think Tony Khan is telling like his various, like the suspected leakers, different names. One guy's like, oh yeah, hey, you think Ric Flair's a big deal? We got Hulk Hogan, brother. Tony Khan is cool with him now all of a sudden. And he told that to Jerry Lynn, and then he told somebody else, he told, I don't know, Sean Dean or something, that it was Dr. Wagner Jr., and then like whatever name leaks out, he knows who done it.
Yeah, that could be.
Probably not. Let's talk about this.
Probably not.
Let's talk about this. So you just mentioned a really good point. Dolph Ziggler, right?
Yeah.
God, I hope it's not him. But
the reason why hasn't expired yet. It's December,
exactly
next month.
So who do we know that it can't be based off of contract situations?
It can't be Dolph. It can't be Matt Riddle. It can't be anybody that was released the last round of WWE releases. It can't be any of them.
All right.
Unless there's a situation where they went and got out of their no compete early.
Okay.
Technically, it can't be Will Ospreay. His contract doesn't expire until February. Given in AEW's relationship with New Japan, I don't know if something there could be worked out. I'd be doubtful.
Would be kind of right. That'd be kind of surprising to me, only because like you'd think New Japan would still be like, hey, gonna give us the extra 2 months to try to wine and dine you to stick around, unless they completely understood this isn't going to happen. Why not, allow AEW this situation?
And then also I think if Ospreay were to go to AEW, it's like, well, we have a relationship from New Japan's perspective, we have a relationship with AEW, so we can still bring Will in on occasion to work our shows, still wrestle our talent, Forbidden Door, so on and so forth. Mercedes Moné.
That's a good name.
That's kind of like, as far as I know, she's a free agent, not signed a contract anywhere. She was at All In, made appearance there, seated in the crowd.
Yeah.
That's the first name that really stuck out.
Yeah.
As far as someone who could be available and could show up in LA to sign a new deal who's not under contract anywhere, it could be Bill Goldberg.
Well respected is one of the words that Tony Khan used. Also, John Hosey, the current Big Blue champion, says big guy Ryback. Again, respected is one of the names that was, or one of the words that was used here.
Kodiak here in chat brings up Sami Callihan, free agent. Yes,
and well respected.
Well respected.
Actually well respected. I love Sami Callihan. I think he's great. Oh my God, Larson. I'd be able to do the thumbs up, thumbs.
My shoulders can handle that.
Careful, pal. I missed that so much from our Impact reviews, being able to do my Sami Callihan impression.
Yeah.
I've got my own pen.
But do you think Sami Callihan is a large enough name to do hey, we signed this person to a contract and we're going to unveil this person at pay-per-view?
For me, yes.
I'm not talking about for us, the larger wrestling audience.
No, that is a good point. Probably not, but that hasn't yeah. Let's see. Hold on a second. So this is on Twitter. When I first saw this, I don't think it's going to be. See, I don't think the wording of this, and plus this announcement wasn't on TV, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was just on Twitter.
No. I don't think it has to be a Mercedes Moné level name. I'd actually be really surprised if she signed a contract that wasn't.
I would be too.
Like an appearance, like I'll come out for these big 4 shows or something like that.
Yeah.
Listen, man, this is one of the world's. When I first read this, I thought, oh, is it Chris Hero? He's getting back in the ring. Yeah, he's well respected. One of the world's best. A lot of people really like him as a wrestler. A pro who's known and respected by virtually every AEW fan. I don't, dude, the announcement like this does nothing but set expectations so high. So I think that we need to temper them a little bit, because there are only so many Bill Goldbergs and Mercedes Monets out there, top level attraction names. And I don't know if this would be the announcement that he would make for a top level name like that.
At the same time, though, as mentioned, by making an announcement such as this, that's the expectation, though, is, this is going to be a huge name that's signing with the company.
Okay.
As opposed to like a Sami Callihan were to sign with AEW. Would they do the whole pageantry of him putting pen to paper, or have him show up to help, for example, because he has a relationship with Mox, help Mox in some capacity?
I kind of feel like if it's Sammy, they would do a little bit of both. He would come help Mox, and then it would be revealed he'd be the one putting pen to paper. Something like that. It is honestly like, Tony Khan gets a lot of flack, dude, and sometimes understandably. In a situation like this, you're a promoter. You want to promote that, hey, we got somebody that is well respected, doesn't say big box office, doesn't say big attraction. AEW fans know this person. So, and they're going to be at Full Gear. So here's one more reason for you to watch. And I don't think he's overselling anything here. It's the rest of us that then take this and run with it. Yeah. And who does that land on? That lands on us for doing that. When I say us, I mean
but the wrestling community at large. Yes, I understand that. But people who have their expectations high, when they're not met, you think they're going to be self-reflective about it and be like, man, I really should have tempered my expectations. No, they're going to go off on Tony Khan on social media.
Damned if he does, damned if he doesn't.
I know.
He has made enough gaffes that he's just going to expect it at this point. I mean, if he doesn't understand that, like, all the huge announcements that were tepid, the all the Tony Khan things, it's just, he's a promoter. He's got to put it out there to get people talking. And then, if it's Bill Goldberg, people are going to crap on it. If Mercedes Moné, people are going to say, what's she going to do there? Because they don't use their women's division, which, by the way, I don't know why I'm using that voice, because that's true.
It is true.
No matter who it is, I don't think there's one name that you can throw out there that people wouldn't be like, unless it's somehow Kazuchika Okada, who's somehow out of his New Japan contract.
I know. Like if somehow Seth Rollins showed up. Sorry, Tyler Black showed up.
It's like, why did you just tweet this out? This is a big deal. You should be putting this on TV.
I know. So who knows? It's going to be a talking point come Full Gear, of course. And I'm sure we'll all get the nitty gritty of once we know who this is, whether it's Mercedes Moné, Sami Callihan, Bill Goldberg, whoever, whether this announcement met the expectations of the wrestling community.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, dude, like there's the wrestling community and there's the wrestling community. You know, there's the people who called, and I really loved Hangman's promo last night. I thought it was the highlight of the show. I thought it was really good. But there are people out there saying this is the greatest promo of all time. It's like, let's tamper this down a little bit, okay? Yeah. It was a really awesome promo and a really awesome feud. But that's the thing about the wrestling community is that they're gonna be ridiculous. And, you know, you gotta, that's just sort of what is just what you get. That's what you get. It's what you pay for, you know? Yep. But yeah, I don't know. Whoever it is, it's probably not going to be CM Punk. Another person who's not going to be CM Punk, probably the Devil. AEW. It'd
be funny if he announced this and then ended up Phil Brooks coming out and signed a new contract with AEW. That'd be pretty funny.
Oh, man. What's more likely to happen, that or Tito Ortiz? The August 1 warning.
Oh, identity revealed is more likely, yeah.
So let's talk about this.
What if Tito Ortiz is under that devil mask, Steve?
Identity revealed. Then it's perfect. Real quick before we get to this Fightful Select thing, Akon22 with a super chat says how Tony Khan words it sounds like it's not a free agent, but maybe he signed MJF to a new deal. Let me look at these words again. Agreed to terms. Okay. Agreed to terms doesn't mean it's new. That's a good point.
No, it doesn't. That's a good point. That's a fair point. I didn't consider that. I know MJF just had an interview with Sports Illustrated talking about, I'm going to paraphrase here, about how Tony Khan was doing everything he could to ensure that MJF re-signed with AEW.
Oh, that's smart. You got to back up that Brinks truck.
Absolutely.
If he says, give me 10 mil, guess what? You're plunking down.
You add an extra mil on top.
Exactly. Give him 11 just to make sure that he doesn't bolt anyways. But yeah, so let's talk about the Devil here. It's in the thumbnail. We got CM Punk trolling people with his Devil person. I don't even know what the pay-per-view
I think it was from a WWE video package or something like that. That image from the thumbnail, I believe.
Oh, like I'm sorry. You cut out there. What was it?
Oh, I think the CM Punk Devil image that used in the thumbnail is from some video package from WWE.
I thought because there's an entire picture series of them, and I thought it was from a poster, but I don't know. And I know there was a series of other wrestlers with demon appearances, but anyways, whatever. Fightful Select has some details on the AEW Devil, not the WWE Devil, and their crew of masked assailants. According to their sources, those currently under the masks are in fact will be the same people who were eventually revealed, and that people within the company know the identities but have done well at keeping it quiet. And if you're convinced that CM Punk is under that devil mask, you're wrong. It's fiction. Fightful notes that their sources are of the belief that Punk isn't the devil, nor, for that matter, is Britt Baker. So the devil is not DMD. House of Wrestling.
No.
Of course, from what we can tell, close personal friends of CM Punk, sometimes here at Going in Raw, considered the official press outlet of CM Punk. My words, nobody else's. House of Wrestling offers up, that's house like Houseman, Haus of Wrestling, in case you want to look it up, offers an explanation as to why CM Punk makes regular references to AEW's Devil story on his Instagram, reporting that they have been told by those close to Punk's camp, probably Punk himself, that he is just having fun playing into the perceived teases that he's returning to WWE or AEW. We're told that he's well aware of the speculation since he is regularly asked on the street daily about the Devil angle and potential return at Survivor Series, which is not happening. Currently, he focuses on minding his own business and caring for his dog, Larry. If this is not the most clear evidence that CM Punk is literally the camp close to CM Punk, I don't know what is. It seems clear that House of Wrestling is simply getting this info from Punk himself.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was pretty clear for a while now that CM, ever since, in fact, he got fired very publicly, CM Punk was not going to be the devil. People have convinced themselves. It's all grand work.
Yeah.
And that he wasn't fired, but in fact, he is going to be under that mask.
Yeah.
No. It's not.
Not happening. It's fiction.
Not happening. It's Adam Cole, first of all.
It's
Roderick Strong literally pointed at Adam Cole last night when he says he's the devil. I know he's talking about MJF, but he did this towards the TV screen and Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Adam Cole's
definitely Adam Cole, yeah. That being said, we could then go frame by frame, shot for shot, and try to we're not going to do that here. Maybe next week on Friendo Club or some shit.
Oh, like as a Bruder film type deal.
Yeah. Like we're Jim Garrison in the Nollins courthouse.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out, okay, this body size here, you see this nipple outline? Tell me that's not Kyle O'Reilly's nipple.
Well, I think we know for sure if it's Gene Snitsky's.
We would definitely know if it's Gene Snitsky's nipple. The nipples, they are extremely violent, very aggressive, angry, angry nipples.
Very aggressive. Aggressive's the word. Aggressive's the word.
Ruthless, aggressive nipples.
Yeah, I know. But people are gonna they're gonna have their narratives that they've convinced themselves are true, and then try to put that out there on social media and convince other people. CM Punk's not coming back to AEW anytime soon. He's not the devil.
Tony Khan.
That could be a Survivor Series.
Literally said, and maybe this is something you'd say about a devil, but he said that he felt his life threatened. Never felt so.
Yeah, that's what Tony Khan said in that situation.
The world of pro wrestling. Socks the Waving Cat here has the Dynamite ratings, if he's to be believed. 823,000 and a .28 in the rating.
All right.
Good.
Pretty typical.
Pretty typical. Yeah. It's not bad. It's good.
Just beat. Just edged out. NXT got over 700,000, I think, this week too.
They got over 700,000. They didn't come close to 8 though, did they? It was 7, I don't think so. It was like just over 7. Yeah. All right. So AEW wins again.
So Spiral here in YouTube chat has another name, Shibata. I don't think Shibata is working under a full-time AEW deal. I don't think he's gotten the graphic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Kota Ibushi got the graphic yesterday.
He did get the graphic. I swear to God, we've seen that graphic before, though.
Yeah, I feel like he actually probably signed a while ago.
I think he did.
I actually have something in mind, storyline-wise, why that was announced, put out last night. But we can get to that when we talk about the show itself.
Oh, awesome! I like it. Some fantasy booking from Ann Larson.
No, not fantasy booking. I think I'm convinced this is going to happen.
Okay, cool. I like it. Is he going to have a new? What's the guy who can't control their sleep? This has to sleep because he looked like he was yawning when he
somnambulist. Sleepwalker?
Is he a
yeah. That someone's a sleepwalker, though.
Yeah. Because he looked like he was yawning in his entrance last night. But he might have been, I don't know, it might have been like a war cry, but it kind of looked like.
Oh, maybe he just got off the plane. I don't know, man.
It could be, yeah. Primetime Rambo has a super chat, $10. Says, I think I may be the only one who feel this way, but Swerve and Paige just feel so cheesy? Like Tubi level cheesy? No, man. I thought that stuff was good. The home invasion. I mean, I do think that they probably should have had like a baby crying or like, the mom showing up or whatever, but because it's a really quiet house. But I thought it was cool. I thought it took it to the next level. I thought that shit was right.
It was effective. It was effective.
The promo last night was cool. We're going to talk about that as well. But before we do that, Larson, you want to pay some bills?
Let's do it. This episode of Going In Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp, Steve.
Yes.
Let's be honest with each other here, all right?
Okay.
Holiday season, it can be a lot.
True.
Agreed, yes. It can be a time of joy, but it can also be a time of stress, anxiety, and sadness.
You got that right, buddy. And if you're dealing with the seasonal blues during the holidays, therapy can be a bright spot amid all the stress. Something to look forward to help you feel grounded, and to provide you with tools to manage everything going on.
I could think of a time when I wasn't exactly looking forward to the holidays and everything that comes with it. Back in my mid-20s, I know I've talked about this a lot. I was dealing with anxiety. My anxiety got really bad. And I realized that in order to live a happier, more productive life, I needed to go to therapy. It took me a few tries to find someone I felt comfortable talking to, but once I did, I was able to learn positive coping skills to help me manage my anxiety and get me back on track to becoming a better Larson.
So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and then you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Juan Villa here with a super chat says, berate me, Steve, for getting too high that I always forget to give you guys a like. So he is just high off his gourd, man. And he's so high, he can't... Wait, hold on a second. Real quick, I just want to double-check this. Just see what the... We got 508 people watching, which is terrific. But then
Fantastic.
we got 109 likes. What is that? Is that even 20%?
That's about 400 people. Yeah, no, that's about 20%.
Am I going crazy here? Am I the crazy one? Am I going nuts? What is happening right now? 400 people haven't hit that like button. Look, I'm going to spare you guys from the beration today. I don't think that's a real word. That is not a real word.
I don't think so.
Come on, man. Just hit that like button. If you like what's going on here at the Going In Raw, hit that like button. What are you waiting for? It's exciting. It's the new thing to do. All the kids are doing it. You know, it's like, hey, man, do you like the latest drug? What's it called? Like it on YouTube. And it just doesn't, there's no harmful effects.
No, it's perfectly safe.
Makes feel great. Super high.
Yeah. Makes us feel great, too.
Makes us feel really high.
Feel outstanding. So, yeah, so Steve's promised not to berate anybody. Beration, as he put it, is not a word, though. That being said, that's how he feels now. For, I don't know, another 20 minutes in the show, and he sees that number not to his satisfaction. Oh, man. Dog's coming out.
Dog's coming out.
Dog's coming out.
Yeah,
and while you're pressing buttons, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, that notify bell. We're trying to get 198,891 subs. It's been a rough week on that front. I don't know what's going on. I think we've lost subs this week.
Oh, man, yeah.
Talking about stuff that doesn't make me happy.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't make me feel good. Losing subs. I want more subs, not less.
Yeah, man. We're negative subs. It was like, I call my bank. Why do I have negative money in the account? Because you had a candy bar.
We're overdrawn on subs. How'd that happen?
Because you bought a candy bar that you didn't have money for, and then we gave you overdraft fees, you big dummy.
Oh, it was like a $40 candy bar it ended up being, huh?
Better be pretty good Milky Way.
Yeah, it better be. So please, if you could, if you've not subbed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit that notify bell so you get notified of all the fresh new content we put up here. It's like minimum 5 podcasts a week.
Yeah, man.
Minimum.
So many podcasts.
A lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
You got a couple more super chats here. Random Explorer says, do you think this could be a similar promo from AEW to what WWE did with Finn Balor when Finn had his alter ego, as it reminded me of that? Oh, the Devil thing? I think we discussed this about whether this is the Devil is
thing,
yeah, MJF's kind of heel persona. And you know, you can watch Jay White's promo after MJF's last night and maybe see elements of that there. So I mean, it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Yeah, yeah. I hope they don't. That's a little. It's too. I don't know. It works in a movie where there's like a trail of breadcrumbs. But I just and the thing about MJF is, as we've seen in the past, he's not afraid to try new things in wrestling. It's just, you better come up with a really compelling way to make that reveal. Otherwise, it's going to go down like a wet turd.
Yeah, it's all in the execution. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. Scotty 2 Average also here with a super chat says Paul White's going to need a new ring name. Oh no, you can't. Come on.
You know what?
He sacrificed himself, Larson.
He got slammed on the hood of a car to help get Will Hobbs over.
Yeah, he did. That should have been the last we saw of Will Hobbs. He should have just walked away at that point. Been like, Callis family, you're on your own. Because I didn't like the whole bit where him getting tied up and then hit a bunch. I don't like that. That would have made him look weak.
Yeah,
but if he just did that and then stepped over the carcass of Paul White and then just walked off.
My job here today is done.
I did my part.
Yep.
Not my fault what happens now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's talk about Dynamite, man. I thought it was a decently strong episode.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid go home episode. All right, I got a theory. And
great.
I almost hesitate to propose this, to talk to you about this, because I think I'm onto
something. Is it too cool
because
you really want it to happen, or do you think it actually might happen?
I think it actually might happen.
Well, then all the more reason to say it, because we love the I told you so.
Yeah, I know. Same time, I don't want you to be like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to change my pick for predictions at Full Gear, because it has implications for that, because I want to win. Anyways, so we got the graphic up for Kota Ibushi. He's officially All Elite.
Yeah, right.
Even though he responded, I think, on Twitter, like, why now put that up? Anyway.
That's the most Kota Ibushi thing
it really is.
Do.
It really is. Who did Kenny Omega make his entrance with last night, Steve?
You're going to put me on the spot, try to remember shit? Hold on a second. Don't tell me. Jericho came out first, and then wasn't it just the three of them together? Wasn't it Kenny?
Well, it was Jericho to his music, then to Kenny's music. It was Kenny and Kota Ibushi together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're really hyping up the Golden Lover stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
You have the Young Bucks turning heel last night.
Yeah.
Young Bucks are winning at Full Gear. FTR's winning. You're going to have face FTR taking on heel Young Bucks for the tag titles. Maybe that's the compromise they made. They were going to do face Young Bucks versus face FTR. If Young Bucks beat FTR, it's because Young Bucks have to cheat to win.
Okay, and you're saying
and
that
then now that Jericho
lovers,
then because what it was, Jericho and Kenny's stated goal teaming together, not to become tag champions, not to be a full-time tag team, to beat the Callis family. They did that last night.
Yeah,
they can
I gave you that assist because last night you're like, well, they still got to take on the Callis family. Like,
I didn't think about this until after that. So
yeah, the street fight was that was the blow off.
That was the blow off. So now, after Kenny and Jericho lose at Full Gear, then Kenny can team with Kota Ibushi because Young Bucks probably going to cheat to beat the Golden Jets.
Yeah.
Kenny and Kota could team up. They could face the Young Bucks either before or after they beat FTR for those tag titles.
Okay, there you go. No, I like that. That's good. I feel like Kenny's not really into the whole Golden Jets thing anyways.
No, and he shouldn't be.
Yeah,
I'm not even talking way better than that.
I'm not even talking about like in character. Like when you see his general demeanor as a performer, he's just like, I'm not really into this. I don't come out after Judas. What are you doing here? You know? No. Good. Yeah. No, that's good. I don't know where I'm at. What is today? Today's Thursday. Tomorrow I'm going to do a live stream over at twitch.tv/mfsteve here. I'll do my predictions then.
Before or after Collision? Collision's on tomorrow.
Yeah. Collision's on at 5, right? Same time?
Something like that. Head-to-head against SmackDown, yeah.
It's going to get killed. It'll be after. It'll be post-Collision, so we'll have all the Collision stuff there. So I'll do my predictions there. I have, in our prediction special, which is available now on the Friendo Club channel.
Yep.
I picked FTR to win, but I was waffling a lot there.
Yeah.
I was waffling a lot.
Yeah. Neither of us had a bunch of confidence points on. Granted, we still have Collision. Could be a go home math.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Then your scenario kind of doesn't it necessitate that happening as having been planned for a little while. And Nick Jackson basically said, "This is the only way to get us on the card is a slap together program here."
Oh, it is a slap together program, and maybe it's one of those things where it's like, all right, this is what we got to do. What can we do based on this? All right, we'll do this. Yeah, I mean, it's totally slapped together.
Plus, they're in L.A. I kind of doubt the Young Bucks are going to lose in L.A.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to lose in L.A. No, I don't think that's the case.
There seems to be no more reason for Jericho. And, I mean, that was my thing is, like, do they have a reason to keep going as a tandem? And it's like, yeah, you're right. They kind of, once they blow up with the Callis family, which last night did very much feel like that, they can move on.
Even though Brian Cage is the one that ate the pin, not a member of the Callis family, nonetheless.
Isn't he? Isn't he a Swerve guy?
He's Mogul Embassy, man.
Why is a Swerve guy with the Callis family?
Because Sammy Guevara is not cleared to wrestle yet.
When they choose,
commentary mentioned that they made a deal that Brian Cage would fill in for Sammy Guevara.
You assume I listen to commentary half the time, man. This Excalibur yells at me old stuff. Like he's like, "Oh, this guy did this back in the day."
It's like you yelling at people watching the show to hit that like button.
Well, I have a real purpose, though. Tom Talks Rubbish here. Our friend Tom Talks Rubbish.
Hey, Tom.
I did an interview with him recently. It's going to go up sometime in the new year. Larson, you already dropped a interview with him. I think back around, was it like Mania season or something like that?
Yeah, it was,
Yeah. He says, "Thank you for always being so kind to me. The community is like the wrestling family I never had. R.I.P. Enforcer." I gotta send him a picture of the Enforcer because he has like an editor now. Tom's like lapping us when it comes to wrestling content. Man, he's got like a proper editor and everything.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Anyways,
I know.
Yeah, man. As far as Dynamite goes, thought it was a solid go home episode.
That like a dragon street fight. Wow, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun. The DDT spot with friggin'
the bicycle.
Yeah, the bicycle. I always love Kota Ibushi because he goes from like the ridiculous with these he's trying to manage the bike, and he gives these really soft whacks to the Callis family with this lead pipe. But then he ends up taking like the most dangerous lariat off the bike where he lands right on his head, which is a very Kota Ibushi thing.
And then he gets a brain buster on top of the bike.
Oh my God, yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then later on he takes that tombstone off the apron through that sign that's kind of braced on chairs.
Some of those spots were rough, man.
They were. That suplex spot where Cage suplexed Kenny out of the ring looked brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. That looked nasty.
Rod Zervin here in the Twitch chat says it was all references to the game too, so fans of the game definitely loved it. That's cool. They really got their money's worth on that one.
They did. They definitely did.
So that was cool.
It's in the thumbnail, so I suppose we should talk about the Hangman Swerve segment where Shivani's hosting a face-to-face between the two of them. He asks Swerve a question. Swerve takes the mic from Shivani, and then Hangman takes the mic from Swerve and just goes off.
Yeah.
Goes off. Doesn't even allow Swerve an opportunity to say a word.
Yeah.
But it's not to say that Swerve didn't enhance the segment. The way he was right in Hangman's face, and you can just tell it was just pure rage behind that face. And he was trying to hold it together because if either of them attacked the other, they'd be suspended for the rest of the year. And obviously, because of that, the match at Full Gear would be off.
Right. And then Hangman found a little bit of a workaround there. He attacked Prince Nana instead, which was a really magnificent moment. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I don't know if they're going to do something else with this on Collision because Hangman really got that last word in pretty strongly. And I'm like, Swerve's got to win this. I don't think he's going to because, the previous match, Swerve won. This is a Texas death match. But that being said, I would think that Swerve is going to have, because of that, Swerve is going to have some big punctuation. I don't know what that can be. If it's the rest of the Mogul Embassy attacking Hangman because that's his loophole, I don't know. But I thought, man, when I saw Hangman going off on Swerve in this manner, and I think about all the awesome work these two guys have put into this feud, because it really has been a standout feud.
It definitely has. So, like, when it was initiated by Swerve, it was awesome. That opening promo Swerve had on Hangman was great.
Yeah. And
their first match at Wrestle Dream was awesome. And and when Swerve broke into Hangman's home, it was really good still. But then there was I felt like a little bit of a lull. It might have been like a week. But it felt like from Hangman's perspective, the intensity wasn't there. But then once he came back after the home break-in, the intensity was there, and it definitely picked up. So
it was a little bit of like, why are they bothering with these Ring of Honor tag titles when he really should be doing what he did the next week? Like, where is this son of a bitch who is like hovering over my child, And it got me thinking, and I hope this doesn't bring up any, because I'm not ascribing blame to anybody. But, I often look at Swerve and I think of a guy who's incredibly creative, and I think of another guy who's incredibly creative, CM Punk. And to think that we could have had this type of intensity and maybe this kind of story with the title on the line, whenever a year or whatever it was ago when Hangman and CM Punk were having their feud. And instead, unfortunately, whether because Hangman wanted to stand up for his buddy or whatever the situation was there, he took it off the rails. There was no concrete plan. Seemingly, they didn't have any plans for CM Punk to visit his house. Yeah. I think this feud here has what I really wish we could have got with the title change back then with Hangman and CM Punk. And instead we got what we got and all that happened. But this right here, two guys who clearly are on the same page, who want to one up each other in a creative way. Last night we saw like a huge moment for that. And I think they both did such a great job. And it really, it reminded me of the Hangman of old, because we haven't seen that Hangman in a while, which is the entire point of this feud. Yeah. And that's what happens when two guys are on the same page and they just absolutely kill it. Thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was really good. And I coming out of that segment where Hangman got the better of it. If you go by traditional go-home math, well, that's promising for Swerve's chances at Full Gear. But given Hangman's record in those Texas death matches, I think he's 2-0, 3-0, something like that. And just kind of the math of the feud, where you think it would go, it seems to favor Page. You'd have to expect something at Collision where Swerve would get the upper hand. But
Swerve in the end, I always go to this. Most pro wrestling feuds, regardless of the go-home math, whoever got the biggest win in the feud, not talking about wrestling wins, but like a big giant beatdown where the guy gets written out for a while, whoever has the most memorable moment if it's the villain who has the most memorable moment, the hero's got to get that back. And in this case, it was Swerve hovering over Hangman's child. So regardless of what happens afterwards, Swerve has to atone for that. Hangman has to make him pay for that. Now, yes, you would think the go home math standard wrestling, tropes are Hangman's got the upper hand. Now they have to make us believe that Swerve can match that in the match in advance of the match to really sell it. And so you'd think that on Collision they would have Swerve get that last word. Maybe they'll just do a video package where he'll have the final word there.
Yeah, that could be.
But he had the big moment in this feud. And it's great because when this feud originally started, when Swerve was talking about coming to take your spot and you haven't had new merch, you haven't had new gear, et cetera, our thing was they need to do several matches. Swerve's got to win the first because they were doing it in Seattle anyways. And then Hangman can do the second. And then whoever Hangman's got to come out of this in the end, probably with a win. But both guys have to come out bigger stars. Exactly. And that last night punctuated the fact that both guys are going to come out of this a bigger deal and a better spot. Yeah. This elevates Swerve and it helps reinvigorate Hangman.
It does.
Mission accomplished. And that match is going to kill, by the way.
It's going to be great. Mission will be accomplished if they take the momentum from this feud and carry that on with both of them.
Well, yeah,
that's be key.
That's in terms of what this feud is meant to accomplish. Yeah, if they don't run with it, you're right. But in terms of what this feud is meant to accomplish, they've done it.
Yeah.
Whether or not they actually capitalize it, that's a whole different situation.
Yeah, that's the extension from this. But yeah, both of them have been hitting home runs with this story. So hats off to both of them. It's been some really fun stuff. All right, let's just jump into it. Show opened up with a recap of the Devil's crew attacking the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
And then our first match of the night was Hook and Orange Cassidy taking on Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta.
So, on our prediction special, Larson.
Yes.
We theorized that this match at Full Gear would accomplish one of two things, and depending on what one they're trying to accomplish would depend on the winner of the match coming up at Full Gear. Mm-hmm. Either they want to get Moxley back on track with the international title.
Course correction, as he put it.
Course correction. Or is this going to be where Orange Cassidy gets his win back from Mox, who beat him in the first place? And it seemed like they probably want to tell a longer story before they got back around to that. After seeing this last night, where do you stand on that?
I mean, if they could still go either way, because if they want to rush the idea, which I hope they don't, because I think it'll be more effective if they take their time, rush the idea. So what happens here is, during the course of this match, Orange Cassidy hits Jon Moxley with an orange punch, and Jon Moxley no-sells it.
Right.
And he just stares at Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy is shook. Mm-hmm. Crisis of confidence. After Hook eats the pin here, Orange is laying against the guardrail on the floor. He's got the international title on his lap, but he is shook. He's looking at his fist, like, why didn't that do anything?
Yeah, right, yeah.
His stated goal going into this match is like, yeah, I have this title, but I'm not really international champion until I beat Jon Moxley.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they want to rush that story along, they can have a segment on Collision, training montage, I don't know, where Orange Cassidy finds the grit, the ingredients, determination to best Jon Moxley, which I think would be rushing what could potentially be a really good story.
Mm-hmm.
The alternative, of course, is that he gets in the ring with Mox, and he's running into a force of nature, tries his damnedest to overcome this force of nature. Mox wins, and then you got to take the months to develop the story with Orange Cassidy, come back around to another match with Mox, which is probably what the original plan was.
I think that's probably what the original plan was. Given that we saw what could have been several months of story in that one match last night, I kind of feel like Orange Cassidy is going to win at Full Gear, because he did, like, if they were going to tell that story that they would come back to around, that they were going to take a couple more months to tell, wouldn't you do that spot with the no-sell and the orange punch in the match? Or I'm sorry, the Superman punch in the match? In the match itself at Full Gear? You do that where Orange Cassidy's like, oh crap, I'm broken and this sucks and I'm screwed now. Mox wins, instead of doing it on what's probably the go-home segment for this match.
I mean, I could see in terms of when them want to tell the story of Cassidy going in this match feeling like that he's he's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like, I have to have this match. I'm the contract signed this match. I got to do it, but I don't know how I'm going to win this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the tension involved with that because you had that moment prior.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we saw during his initial international title reign, like he would bust out, he'd bend the rules, bust out new pitting combos to win matches. And after seeing that his most trusted thing in his arsenal, his Orange Punch, is seemingly going to be completely ineffective against Mox, what does he have to do at that point? Does he have to go back to the drawing board and find a new finisher?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But we'll find out.
It was well done, though. I like that aspect of it. So the finish saw... So Mox eats that Orange Punch, completely no sells, until he boots Orange out of the ring completely. So Hook puts Red Rum on Mox. Mox backs Hook into the rope so Yuta could hit Hook to break the hold. And then Mox hits Hook with a paradigm shift. And then Yuta, who tags in, locks on the seatbelt to get the win. And afterwards, Orange is on the floor. He's basically devastated. Mox grabs a mic and says, Orange Cassidy, you are nothing. You ain't never been nothing at Full Gear. I'm going to put the world back on its axis. There's going to be a course correction. I'm going to grind you into dust and walk out international champion. There's not a damn thing you can do to stop me.
Ooh. Those are nasty words right there, man.
It really is.
So either Orange Cassidy will, in fact, not be able to do anything to stop him, or he will be able to find something.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like, are they going to take their... it's pretty much they're going to take their time telling the story, or are they just going to not? That's kind of it.
Move on from it, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
You know, and who knows how long of a title reign Mox was supposed to have.
Yeah, right, yeah. Or what they wanted to do with it. I think that also matters, too, is like before they get back around. Because I do think that that taking your time with that Orange Cassidy story, I think, especially given that with this title reign, he's made the realization, this is precious to me. This means everything to me. And for him to actually lose that which is precious to him, I think it'd be more wise to take the longer route, come back around to it. And that'll make the international title mean even more.
Exactly.
When Mox is going on this rampage, so to speak, not on Rampage, but on Rampage.
He hardly wrestles on
I don't think
Rampage,
he's going to be on Rampage.
No.
I think that'd probably be the better way to go. But in all things, it's AEW. Who knows what, if Tony Khan just wants to move on and, and be like, well,
maybe Mox is only supposed to have the
anyways.
belt until the one pay-per-view cycle, and then he's going to put it right back in Orange. I don't know.
Yeah, right, exactly. Keon Lewis here with a super chat says, my first super chat. Oh, and it's in pound sterling. So he says, my first super chat. You two are the best. Shout out from the UK.
Well,
thank you very
so
much, Keon Lewis. Appreciate it.
Thank
Love
you.
your name. Kian. What a great name. Keon.
Great name.
Yeah.
Then we got Jericho, Kenny, Paul White, and Kota Ibushi all arriving at the arena. They're all wearing suits.
In like sort of pseudo slow motion.
Yeah.
It was like slowish motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we can't do slow-mo in the camera. We don't have time to do it in post, so can you guys just walk a little slow?
I do think that they were practically walking a little slower, but they like dialed it in like 10%. So anyways, after that we had so this is the face-to-face with Hangman Page and Swerve, and Schiavone says if either of you guys touch each other during this segment, you're going to be suspended for the rest of the year, 6 weeks, and the Full Gear match is off. So he introduces Swerve and Nana. They come to the ring. Hangman comes to the ring next, gets right in Swerve's face. I love both men are clad in black as well. I thought it would look great. Swerve snatches the mic from Page, from him. Page snatches it back from him. Says, I'm sorry, Shivani precedes that by saying, Swerve, how can you justify going into another man's house? Swerve takes the mic from him. Page gets it back from Swerve. Says, I'll answer that question for you. Why did Swerve go into my house? Because you are a coward. You're a fraud. You're a phony. You're a worthless waste of human life and a grade A dumbass. You're dumber today than you were 2 years ago when your dumbass got fired. Big gasp from the crowd. You told me 2 months ago that you wanted to be world champ, that you were the kind of man these people think that I am. But I can look at you and I can see right now you don't have it in you. You can't cut it. You're not the man you think you are. You're the reason, or he said, that's the reason your fiance left you and your kids won't talk to you. Another huge gasp from the crowd. That's rough. He said, look at me. And Swerve keeps on looking away from him. And Hangman has to keep on telling him, look at me. He says, you're the one who wanted to make this personal. Swerve, you're a coward. You don't surround yourself with family or friends. You surround yourself with yes men, which totally echoed the pipe bomb. Mm-hmm. He says, like Gates of Agony and Brian Cage. If you weren't such a dumbass, you'd know that Prince Nana is just using you. Nana gets to come out here and do his funny little dance. He sells his T-shirts. And Swerve, Prince Nana makes a living off your back. And meanwhile, Nana sort of defiantly does the dance and then, starts trying to plead with Swerve. That's not the case. He says when the show's over, though, he goes down to the hotel parking lot and he spends that living buying weed from a high school kid. But Nana, after I beat Swerve's ass, I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to steal your weed, which is a great line.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Crowd's into it. So Swerve turns his back to Nana. He's just sort of pissed off in general. Paige yells at Swerve. He says, look at him. He says, look at me. He says, not only are you not the man you think you are, you're not a man at all. You're a child. I've worked with kids for a long time, and I've taught them a lot of lessons. And this Saturday, I teach you the last lesson of your pathetic life. You, Swerve, should have never, ever come into my house. We don't need lawyers. We don't need cops because at Full Gear, I am your judge, jury, and executioner. I will take you to spend an eternity in Swerve's house at the bottom of hell. He drops the mic and picks it back up. He says, Swerve, there's one last thing I forgot to mention. Tonight's stipulation was that you and I couldn't lay hands on one another, but Nana, they didn't say shit about us. He cold cocks Nana, gets him down with a bunch of punches. Swerve can't touch him. He's dancing around like doing this because he can't touch him. Yeah. So security comes in. They pull him off. Swerve pulls Nana out of the ring. They get out of there. Paige ends up on the apron, hits a guard with a buckshot. Guard sells it like $1 million. Dude.
Yeah.
And
local enhancement talent.
Yeah. So Nana eventually they're up on the ramp, but Nana's like down on the ground, still selling it behind security at the foot of the ramp.
Yeah, it was a really good segment. It was really good.
Really effective.
And then we got a interview with Roderick Strong in the Kingdom. So Lexi asks Roderick, you say you know who the devil is? And Roddy's like, yes, I do. And I need to tell my best friend, call him. So Taven gets out his phone, calls Adam Cole, puts it on the screen. And Roddy says, Adam! Hey, what's up, dude? Did you see my match on Collision? And Cole's like, yeah, I did. And Roddy's like, yeah, I know I did great, but let's get to the topic at hand. I know who the devil is. It's definitely Max. And Cole says, Roddy, stop. I have a lot going on. Max is not the devil of anything. With all the accusations you're throwing around, maybe you're the devil, Roddy. Roddy says, you're not around here. You're not seeing what I'm seeing. I'm telling you, on my life, he's the devil. And when he says he's the devil and points, he points at Adam Cole on the screen.
Yeah.
And Cole's like, I don't have time for this, and he hangs up. And Roddy just says, why won't he listen? Yeah, this is like the role Roderick Strong was born to play. This is so good.
It really is. It really is. It's really good stuff. It's incorporating a lot of different things, and it all works, and it kind of shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah. It's like what he was doing as comedic heel, Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong. But it's like the aspects that worked about that, they're focusing on that and nothing else, and it's just it's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
It's very entertaining. After that, we had Sky Blue versus Red Velvet. Apparently, there was some sort of situation in the crowd during this match.
Oh, really?
And that's why, apparently, because like the crowd was kind of dead for this. But there was I guess somebody in the crowd needed some like EMTs to come work on them.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know what the situation. Fightful Select had the report there. Then there's no word on like what actually happened. But yeah. Anyways, this is a really fun match, man. Red Velvet's so much fun, dude.
Yeah.
So much of the shit that she does is so much fun. Sky Blue's good too. My goodness gracious.
That
and of
top
course,
rope, I don't know how to describe that top rope thing that Red Velvet did to Sky Blue.
It looked like something out of WWE 2K. It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
and of course, this was so Statlander was backstage watching because whoever won this got into the triple threat coming up at Full Gear.
Yeah. So the finish of this, Red Velvet looking for her finish. Sky blocks it. I think it's the third time Red Velvet was looking for her finisher. Sky hits a super kick, but then she runs into a super kick from Red Velvet. Velvet's looking for her finish again. Sky catches it, hits a code blue for the win. And then we're backstage. Statlander's watching. We cut to another area of the arena. Julia Hart's watching backstage. Mm-hmm. There was one moment that I don't know if it was a bit of a tell as far as what could happen at Full Gear, where they were both going for arm drags, and Red Velvet blocked it, and Sky Blue just did a little look to her, like a little. I think it was supposed to be kind of like menacing and creepy, and Velvet's, it's kind of taken aback by it just for a moment, and then the match carried on. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's a little bit of a tease as far as what we're going to get, more of a menacing, creepy Sky Blue at Full Gear, as opposed to where she's kind of. Like last night, she had the Scooby-Doo inspired gear. Yeah. But she walked out all serious. She still has the same makeup she's been having for a couple weeks. So.
It's a really cool juxtaposition.
Yeah.
And I know you and I had talked about this before because she's worn the Scooby-Doo stuff before.
Yeah.
Pretty recently. And I think it'd be great if she kept on wearing it, but it just starts getting like desaturated.
Yeah.
It's like the fun is being sapped away from her.
Exactly.
I do know. I feel like it probably was an intentional tease. I think that she's totally aligned with Julia Hart. And I think that's a smart move. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think so too. Then we had a Miro promo. And he said, "What I said would happen is coming true. I love that woman, but she's bringing in the storm. She wants gold and fame and fortune, all these things that drag her under. And for years, I stood by and let her do whatever she wanted. But my eyes have been open for a while now. Truth is, CJ just doesn't bring out the worst in herself. She brings out the worst of me, too. This week on Collision, Daniel Garcia will be the one to find out more than anybody else in this world because I bring out the worst of me. Daniel, I can't wait to see you dance. Because you will dance in the beginning, but you'll be peaceful in the end.
Yeesh.
Now let the Redeemer give you some advice. I don't pray to God anymore, but you definitely should. This is the word of the Redeemer."
Just awesome stuff, man.
Oh,
he really needs to be shot to the moon. I like that he's got an actual story here, and you can tell, like, you start praising AEW when they're telling some good stories,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's good stuff. I like that. After that, we got RJ City and Mariah May standing outside the locker room of Timeless Tony Storm.
Although it said not Tony Storm on the little placard.
Trying to throw people. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. So yeah, she's like, RJ's like, he's like, okay, well, here we are. I got her the end. So she knocks. The concierge Luther answers. And at first he's like, oh, she can't be seen. Close the door, slams it in their face. But then RJ's like, let me take care of this. Knocks on it. He's like, Luther, I said I can get her in. Like, we're here right now. Can we just do this? So he lets him in. Mariah goes over to Tony. She's on the couch with some cucumbers on her eyes. She's like, Tony, I'm a huge fan. She says, nice to meet you. I'm not doing autographs right now. And she says, no. I came from Stardom just like you. And I loved everything you did there. And I love everything you're doing in AEW because of Tony. And I just love you. And she says, darling, I didn't catch a word of that. Can't you tell I'm indisposed? And Mariah apologizes. It's like, okay, if you need anything, let me know. So she goes, and then Tony says, Luther, call the studio executive, Mr. Khan. Book me a tune-up match for Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's going to be good.
It is. Then we got Samoa Joe versus John Cruz. This is the moment this match became like an instant meme when Samoa Joe does the bit where he walks away from someone doing like a high flying top rope move. But in this instance, John Cruz, as Samoa Joe is walking away, looks at Joe, almost shrugging midair.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
you're supposed to be there.
It was great.
Yeah,
so after that, he hits Cruz with a lariat, puts on coquina clutch. Cruz taps. So Joe grabs the mic, says, my name is Samoa Joe, and I come from Southern California. They were in Ontario, California last night. So MJF, since you're in my hood, once again, I extend my offer of friendship. Trust me, time is limited because you're going to find out whether you have my friendship or not. I am Samoa Joe, and I am inevitable.
Seems like you might be that tag partner on that kickoff. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see.
Yep.
After that, we had a recap of the Continental Classic. It's the Continental Classic. After that, we had Pentagon. Champagne. Would you like some champagne? Pentagon and Commander versus the Young Bucks.
This match was fun.
Yeah.
This match was a lot of fun.
I have an alarm right now. That's weird.
What?
Hold on. Yes. My child is asking me for a cookie. Yes, you can have cookie. She wants an Oreo. Robo wants Oreo. Yeah, this match was a ton of fun, man. It's like the Young Bucks and Pentagon and Commander. Of course, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's tons of fun.
What was that bit where Commander runs on Pentagon's shoulders or some shit? It was crazy.
Oh, I know. They hit a destroyer. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Finish this. Matt and Penta trade some super kicks. They do it again. Nick tags in. He super kicks Penta. Penta tags in Commander, but the ref's checking on Matt. So Nick hits low blows on Commander and Penta. And then Nick hits Commander with the Judas effect.
Mm-hmm.
A great looking Judas effect.
Mm-hmm.
Better than someone else does it. And
it
follows.
Whoa, buddy.
Yeah, you heard it. It's
Yeah.
truth, too. Where's the lie?
Where's the lie?
And then the Young Bucks follow with the BTE trigger on Commander to get the win. There was an audible gasp or booze when Nick hit those low blows. Because they're from Rancho Cucamonga, and Ontario's not that far away.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 20 minutes away or so,
Yeah.
They was like, oh, they turned heel.
Yeah, man.
But then at the same time, they were leaving, and they were autographing shoes, so the Young Bucks.
Yeah, it's the complexity of man,
Exactly.
It's like, no, we're still good guys. Now everybody can do the MJF thing. They can be a good guy and a bad guy at the same time.
Yeah.
So anyways, afterwards, we had a Young Bucks interview. Lexi says, hey, why'd you guys cheat in your hometown? And Matt says, listen, sources are telling me that the Young Bucks no longer give a damn about rules, about what not to say and what not to do. In fact, and then Kenny steps in, you going to do that in front of your friends, in front of your family, huh? That's who you want to be? And Matt says, that's the best version of us, Kenny, and you know it. Look who's talking. How'd you get your best success? I think I remember, right? And Kenny says, just so we can keep it clean for the pay-per-view. Or he says, just so we can keep it clean for the pay-per-view, all right? And Nick says, our heat is not with you. It's with Jericho. And Matt says, and you know that. After we're done with this, you guys will have your second to last match. It's the last time we're going to see you guys at the pay-per-view. Then we can do the elite thing again. I swear, AEW and their friends who have just the worst friendships. It's great. And Jericho steps in. Colin Robinson steps in and says, don't waste your time with these jackasses, Kenny. We've got a match to win tonight before we beat them on Saturday. We'll see you later, kids. He said it a bit more.
Asshole.
Yeah, he is. Colin Robinson.
Yeah. So then Matt blasts Jericho from behind. Security breaks up the skirmish. And Kenny's like, what are you doing? We just came here to talk. What are you doing?
Yeah, we just came here to talk.
What are you doing? Then we got the Guns taking on Peter Avalon and I didn't get the last name. Jacoby.
Myers? Is it Myers? Is his last name Myers?
I don't know why.
Oh, you don't know Jacoby and Myers?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about now, yeah. A law firm.
It's a terrible joke. I'm sorry.
So the Guns win this pretty quickly with a 310 to Yuma, and then Juice tosses Jacoby out of the ring. Guns get a mic. Colton says, hey, Max, that match was 2-on-2, so imagine what's going to happen at the pay-per-view when it's 2-on-1. Your friends are gone. Adam Cole is gone. Those Ring of Honor tag titles are about to be gone. And Austin takes the mic and says, if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Guns up.
Hey, we're pretty smooth these days with the guns up.
I know exactly where to put my hand now. It's like right there.
Let's see here. Before we continue on, I want to mention this really quick. We've had some new patrons over the past couple days. Tyler Maloney just last night. On Monday, Lord Fancy Pants. Also on Monday, Sebastian Garcia. Also on Sunday, Keith. And on, let's see here, Nick Dunn also on Sunday. And on Saturday, Sicilian Crest. Just want to say thanks to the new patrons.
Thank
you. If you guys want bonus episodes, access to the question threads, and of course, the huge, massive Week of Champions 3 coming up in 2 days. That's right. Starting off with Full Gear and continuing on in Survivor Series. If you want your shot at proving yours is superior in predictions.
Hey, give me a shot.
Give me a shot. You can get your shot at patreon.com/Steven Larson. It's $5 a month. Or get the same stuff by clicking join on the YouTube and becoming a channel member. YouTube.com/Steve and Larson.
Yes. Next, Wardlow video package. He's talking about MJF, refers to MJF as being the devil and says, I'm going to make the devil, talk about MJF, my bitch. But then the devil, whoever's in the devil mask now, kind of does the glitch cut in, does a real quick shot, and then back out.
I think it's safe to say, like, we know for sure who 2 of the people are. The devil is Cole. Wardlow's one of the masked guys. Yeah. It's just all the other guys look like AEW guys. They're like smaller. I wouldn't
be surprised if Jack Perry's one of them.
I
wouldn't wager money. Yeah. I wouldn't wager money on Jack Perry like I would with Cole and Wardlow. I'm not going to put my house up, but I put $100 that Cole and Wardlow are two of the 5.
Is it the devil in 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so Wardlow, Jack Perry. You think Roderick Strong's one of them? No. If Roderick Strong's one of them, why wouldn't the other 2 guys be? So I don't think Strong's one of them. I think Kyle O'Reilly might be one. I could see that. He could be ready to go.
Could be.
And that would leave one more.
It'd be interesting if the Kingdom were the other 2, but not Roddy.
Whoa. That'd be kind of crazy.
Roddy feels betrayed.
Oh, man. Roddy, a man alone. Having to wheel himself.
I know.
You can get a little electric one. So after that, we had the Like a Dragon street fight. This was all over the place. It was a wildly fun mess of a match. Scary with some bizarrely scary spots as well. So everything you want in a street fight. I mean, there was like some crazy spots, but then also some ridiculous comedy.
So highlights. We won't go through the full match because there's a lot of stuff. A lot. I didn't even take notes for half the stuff, but there was a lot. It was wildly entertaining. As mentioned earlier, Hobbs slamming Paul White on the hood of a car out in the parking lot.
Very impressive.
Great spot for Hobbs.
It was.
As mentioned earlier, it's a bummer that he got duct taped to the ropes later on, the top rope later on, and just had to like stand there and watch the finish of the match.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment with Paul White, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Kota Ibushi getting on that bike with the lead pipe and riding the bike around the ringside area, hitting people very gently with the lead pipe, only for Brian Cage to try to take his head off with that lariat.
Gosh.
And take that nasty bump and then eat a brain buster on top of the bike after Takeshita's thrown it at everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But there's elements in there that was very DDT. You watch the clips of when Kota Ibushi and Kenny and El Generico were in DDT, and you have this great in-ring action, but also you'd have these matches at like office buildings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or
water
on the
parks.
shore at a riverbank.
Yeah.
So it was pretty well done, incorporating aspects of kind of the more ridiculous DDT pro stuff in the street fight kind of genre.
Yeah.
So down towards the finish, Hobbs is already no, he's not. So Omega hits Hobbs with the V trigger. Jericho follows with the Judas effect, and that's when they duct tape Hobbs to the top rope. They tape his mouth shut. Kota Ibushi, who had just eaten a tombstone pile driver from Kyle Fletcher through like a sign that was propped up by some chairs, gets up a couple minutes later, hands Kenny a chair and a hunk of that sign. Kenny then hits Hobbs over the head with the sign, in the gut with the chair, and then busts a bottle over his head. Kyle Fletcher earlier took a bottle to the head. Cage comes in, cleans house. He's looking for a drill claw on Kenny. Kenny escapes that, hits him with a V trigger. Jericho follows with a shot from his Bat Floyd. Kenny then hits him with a Poison Rana, another V trigger, hits Hobbs with another one, and then Kenny hits Cage with the One Winged Angel to get the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I know Cage, not official member of Don Callis family. This match felt like a blow-off.
It did. No, yeah, and it should be. It should be. We don't really need more of this.
No. Case be made that it's overstayed as welcome as is.
Yeah. Callis family can pivot somewhere.
Yeah. Yes.
Honestly, the Callis family at this point, in my opinion, they could just sort of disband. Hobbs is better than this. I mean, it's good for Fletcher because his tag partner's out. Sammy Guevara has not been involved because of the concussion.
No. Yeah, he hasn't been cleared. I mean, they could stay together. I don't know if they want to do something. It gives Fletcher something to do, as you mentioned. In theory, when Takeshita turned heel, it was a good move for him.
Takeshita and Callis are a good combo.
Yeah.
They are a good combo together. I like them together. But it's like, I don't know, the pieces just sort of don't really, they're just not, doesn't seem like a cohesive thing,
No, it doesn't. The sum of the parts doesn't seem to be as good as the individual ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After that, we had an MJF promo to close the show. And he's just trying to do his best to sell the match there at Full Gear. He says, after the brutal attack on the Acclaimed, it's been apparent to me that no matter how hard I try to outrun my past, it's going to keep catching up to me. Although I keep trying to better myself, every time I open myself up and let somebody in, those people get hurt. Sometimes I feel cursed. So what I'd like to say to the Acclaimed is the same thing I had to say to Adam Cole, and that is, I'm sorry you got caught in the crossfire. That is MJF's life. I'm sorry you got hurt, and I hope you feel better. Because ever since I can remember, all I wanted to be is a world champion. I've spent my entire life, every single waking, breathing moment, trying to make that a reality. Proud to say that I made it to the mountaintop of pro wrestling, but that mountaintop, it's not all glitz and glam. You see, the air up here is thin. It's daunting and lonely, and as I look down upon this mountain, I look in every single direction. I see men climbing with the only intention to shove me off the top. I'm man enough to admit that I am afraid. I'm afraid that I can lose everything that I work for in the blink of an eye. But most of all, I'm afraid I'm going to do to you people exactly what I did to Cole and the Acclaimed. I'm afraid I'm going to let you guys down. The old me in this situation would have tucked his tail and ran, but you know what? I'm about done letting my past dictate my future and my present. So yeah, I'm afraid, but that doesn't mean I'm willing to quit. I'm afraid, but it doesn't mean I'm willing to give up my spot on the top of the mountain. I may be afraid, but you better send a whole damn army to get my ass to come down. Jay White, November 18th, you've been walking around with a title that you've not yet earned. Now you have a chance to prove it at Full Gear. You have a shot to take my spot at the top of the mountain. But you know what I think, Jay? I don't think you can. Matter of fact, I don't think anybody can. Because my name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it. And a message to the man who stole my devil mask and who hired those goons. I want you to know something. Heed my words. I'm going to find out who you are, and when I do, there will be hell to pay.
And then Jay White comes to the ramp, says, Max, please, you're making me sick. Just stop. Drop the act because you're embarrassing yourself. You're trying so hard to be the hero when that's just not who you are. You're the villain. Always have been. Always will be. My friend, you're not fooling anybody, especially me with your devil mask distractions and diversions because, hey, we've heard it from your mouth. You've told us time and again. You're the devil, aren't you? No one is on your level, Mr. Devil. Nah. You're not the hero, Max. You're not these people hero. You aren't their scumbag. You should know better how quickly they will drop you because you don't mean anything to them. That's perfect because, to be honest, they mean nothing to you. They don't because you haven't changed. You can't change. When you say you know me because we're similar, well, bro, Chacho, I guess that means I know you too. And I know that you know that I'm speaking the truth right now. I know that you know that your days as the official AEW World Champion are numbered. You know that I am truly elite. You know that you are not. You know that I am better than you. They know that I am better than you. And you know that at Full Gear, you will breathe with a switchblade. If you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Get them. So the Guns and Juice Robinson hit the ring. They attack MJF. He tries to fend them off. However, Juice hits him with the left hand. Guns follow with 310 to Yuma. Jay comes to the ring, hits MJF with the Blade Runner, covers him. Juice counts the pinfall, and then show closes with Jay White holding the title up over MJF while Samoa Joe watches on backstage.
You know what's kind of funny about this? Like reading all this, because the reading back the actual words to the MJF promo, it's damn good.
It is really good. It was a really good promo.
But like, I feel like, and this is not a criticism, it's just an analysis, that the real interesting stuff is with the devil. And Jay White is sort of the guy who's there, you know, but like the entire thing is enhanced so much by the devil. And when you read this promo from MJF, when you actually read the words, it's like, holy shit. It's like this is pretty deep stuff. This is really, really good stuff. And it's like, if this ends up being his final word in AEW for now, anyways, if he decides to go to WWE next year, it's a really, really strong one. It would actually be a really interesting way to say goodbye, you know, at World's End, which you've said could be, you know, the end of MJF in AEW as well, when all these different stories come colliding on him. And it's like the MJF Bullet Club Gold stuff is just sort of the tip of that particular iceberg over the next month.
There's elements that when you kind of read between the lines of what Jay was saying here, all this stuff, it almost reads like a comedy bit. I know that you know, blah, blah, blah. But it's all about people having knowledge that other people may not have or maybe do have.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You know, it's like, I know this, they know this, I know that you know that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of the implication of some of this is like, okay, you're not being, I mean, he says as much. You're not being truthful. You're not being honest. You're hiding something. Maybe Jay White's hiding something as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I gather from that choice of words when he presents stuff at the end. Like, it reads like, you read it on here on paper, it reads like a comedy bit. I know that you know that. You know, it's like from the movie Clue.
Yeah.
Talk about the bullets and the gun and stuff like that. 3 + 2 + 1 + 1.
Yeah,
you know?
right, yeah.
2 + 2 + 1 + 1. Sorry. But I see what Jay White was getting at with this. Not just the words, but kind of the subtext of it as well.
Mm-hmm, yeah. He doesn't quite have, I mean, MJ, it's funny because I've always really liked Jay White as a promo, as like a speaker. He's really good. And you look at some of his New Japan stuff, it's so awesome.
Oh, it's so good.
But this really does illustrate that there is a separation between MJF and kind of everybody else. Like Hangman was, look, as good as Hangman is, and he is really good.
Yeah.
The actual words of MJF's promo and his delivery, it is like scary good. It's like next level good, you know?
It is. And MJF is great on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
What he's doing now benefits because he's doing something that we don't often see from pro wrestling baby faces, which is being really vulnerable.
It's self-reflection, yeah.
We're so used to baby faces being like, oh yeah, I'm not going to run away from a fight. I'm scared of nothing.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
and he at the same time is admitting that this is a new situation for him, and he's scared.
Yeah.
And he's got to come to grips with his past and move forward with who he wants to be in the future. And he's entering these scenarios with a whole new viewpoint, and that's a scary situation to be in, for anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
And the way he's articulating that is really, really, really well done.
Yeah,
it's great stuff.
It is. It really is. So at this point in the show, we usually answer questions, and today's going to be no different. Larson, would you like to answer questions?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's do it. Movie Party Murder has a question here. It says, watching Andre Chase wrestle in a button-down shirt and sweater can't be comfortable. What are some of the worst outfits you've seen as far as being difficult to work in? I don't know as far as like difficulty working in, but I always hated Roman Reigns wearing a SWAT team bulletproof vest and like cotton pants.
Yeah.
Or whatever material that was. Didn't look like it breathed very well. It just didn't look comfortable. I didn't like any of it.
So the thing about Andre Chase, I'm sure what he's wearing is perfectly comfortable. It probably gets hot immediately.
Probably does.
He's under those lights that are hot. He's got that sweater. He's got the button up. He's got to wear the pants. That's probably hot.
Yeah.
Stuff that always looks uncomfortable to me is that some of the crazier stuff that people would wear like in the early 90s. Like Jeff Jarrett's thing where he had the thing around his neck and they had the straps that come down.
Yeah.
Because not only did it look uncomfortable, I don't know how you could wear that and I'd be like, I look kind of ridiculous, don't I? At least that's my thought.
It's
I'd
like,
be so self-conscious wearing stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how well jorts are. Like, I'm thinking of like, well, obviously Cena, but like also Raven. He used to wear like the sleeveless comic book shirts and jorts.
I guess it depends on the quality of the jeans, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so.
If it's like the thicker denim material, no thanks.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. Let's see here. White Brownie says, should WWE consider bringing in CM Punk to help boost the ratings for Raw, especially during a time when they're still shopping around the show?
I'm sure that's been considered, but at the end of the day, they're like, once Monday Night Football is over, we'll rebound the ratings, and it should be fine.
Who needs Punk when you have Judgment Day?
Exactly. Adam Fella here asks, what current wrestling theme would work best on it for a different wrestler?
Current wrestling theme would work best for a different wrestler. Shit, I don't know.
I just feel like I'm so used to everybody's theme with them that it'd be kind of it'd be jarring to hear.
I'm just trying to think of like lyrics.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Judgment Day's theme starts with, if you believe yours is the only way, then you're a fool who lives to die. And that could apply to Chase University because they have their philosophy on how to do things.
Exactly.
But it really wouldn't fit.
No, it really wouldn't. See here, the X3 rated. Thank you so much.
Oh, man. Thank you so much. That's nice.
Thank you. EV here says, with Logan Paul, the WWE champion, over-under for title defenses, will it be lower than Roman or no-show Lesnar? I don't think Logan's going to have the belt that long. He'll probably just have it till Mania and LA Knight. We'll beat him. So he'll defend it at the Rumble, probably at Chamber, and then he'll drop it at Mania to LA Knight.
I get the feeling that Logan Paul really loves this. I think he'll probably defend it a little bit more than we think he would. Didn't somebody say that he's like retiring from boxing so he could pursue this?
Well, he said that.
He said that. Yeah. Even better. Yeah, I don't know. I get the feeling that he might be on a couple SmackDowns. He seems to really love doing it. Did you see his little segment on the Rey Mysterio catch?
Yeah.
It was very humble.
It was. Yeah.
It was very cool. I'm becoming a fan of the guy. Not going to listen to a show, but yeah, I'm not hating on Logan Paul these days, man.
Patrick Kennedy says in Cody's interview, he seems confident Rock hasn't taken his spot. So put on your tinfoil hats and bear with me. Cody is great at making deals happen. Example, Jay going to Raw. So how did Cody help broker the deal between the movie studios and the Screen Actors Guild to ensure Rock will be back at work and able to make the WrestleMania?
Oh man, he's a Smooth talker, silver tongue, you know.
I mean, it's possible. Cody would have his Screen Actors Guild card because he was on on Arrow. So he's a member.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, you know, he threatened him with a couple of crossroads.
He somehow talked his way in being part of the negotiating committee, maybe. And you know, he seems to know a lot of people. So maybe he was like, hey, I'm going to call up studio exec, be like, hey, I'm going to put it out here. He makes his pitch and like, all right, Cody, you know, I feel you're earnest, you're believable, and I'm going to listen to what you say, and I think you make some good points. On
top of that, offered him some giant chocolate chip cookies. That's what got me my car deal, you know. They were like, I was like on the fence, like, I don't know if this deal's right for me. 13% seems a little high. How about some chocolate chip cookies?
13%? That's high for now, much less when you bought the car.
I think I got 2.9%.
It's outrageous how high interest rates are for cars. I was looking the other day, like a couple weeks ago. Like their promotional deal is maybe 5. That's their promotional.
I saw a promotional for 6.9 the other day. I was like, yeah, this is stupid.
It's ridiculous. So stupid. It's ridiculous. I'm like, I can't really afford a car because we got the thing that I have to drive around town, which barely holds together.
Yeah, you hate that thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's old. It's an old car. It doesn't drive well.
Yeah. No, man, everything's bad these days. It's funny because, like, technically the economy's supposed to be good, but everybody hates everything. Because everything's so pricey. Nobody has money.
Nobody can afford anything. Interest rates are high. No one could afford rent or buy a house.
Oh, it's
a loaf of bread is $8.
I'm like,
what the shit?
I've decided this is my forever home, dude. I'm never gonna get. You never get a better deal than this.
No, no. Alex Foster says you guys have been more down in AEW lately, and Jeff Jarrett has been on TV less. Coincidence?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the lack of Jeff Jarrett, who should be the devil, to be honest with you. Boy, you know, as much as I love Jeff Jarrett, if he unmasks and he's the devil, I'll pop, but the crowd will go ape, go crazy.
Just groan.
Yeah.
Blake Whitehouse, if Going in Raw would be presented by a non-sports video game, which one do you want it to be, and which one would it actually be? So if they want to do some sort of thing where we as NPCs or whatever are in a game, so not a wrestling thing,
sure,
not a sports game, what would you want it to be?
I mean, obviously I would want the same sort of deal that Dr. Dre got for the GTA piece of DLC, you know. I'm sure, I think he got like a lot for that.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool, you know, side mission thing. So I'd want that. Or even, you know, Saints Row. I know that they've, like, the entire studio thing is closed down, but
yeah, I think so.
Maybe they can whip up some new DLC for Saints Row 3. Maybe they could do that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if somehow we can be, if there's ever a Portal 3.
Dude, I was thinking exactly that's the first thing I thought of. And I was like, we could do some sort of like integration, like a match where like they've got like platforms with like holes in them. And then we just like go down and we do the thing where like falling in perpetuity, you know?
Exactly.
But then eventually we land and our knees just blow out.
Yeah. Luis here says with pay-per-views in Germany and France, they're doing Backlash in Paris this year, as announced.
Oh, oui.
What's changed and allowed international pay-per-views, and why hasn't this happened sooner? Because these cities are paying WWE large sums of money to hold the shows there. That's why it's happening now.
Yep.
And that's probably why it wasn't happening before.
Calicott here.
Sums of money.
Yeah, big money. Calicott here with the Twitch says, with some bits, says, Hangman Adam Page stole my weed. Have any edibles you can share, Steve? No, I don't buy them. I just, like, if I'm offered them, it's rare I say no.
Yeah.
You know, especially if we're at a WWE live event. Evie also gave us some bits. Thank you very much for that, Evie. We appreciate it. Here we go. We got one of these wrestling fans question. Reaper Red says, have the fans ruined wrestling for themselves? Every time I go on any social media platform, 90% of the fans are complaining about the same stuff over and over again. That's just social media. That's everything.
Yeah, that's movies, TV, music, anything. People just complain, just arguing about stuff.
Yeah,
you know, and if I know it's not a perfect system, most platforms have a way to help you kind of curate your feed as best you can.
Yeah, right.
You know,
yeah.
you can block terms, you can block users.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'd recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Follow people who post things that aren't negative.
Yeah.
Or just don't use social media. That's
a little bit of effort goes a long way, is what you're saying, and I agree with that. There are so many like unnecessary arguments in the wrestling social media landscape that it's just, you gotta chuckle at it sometimes. But yeah, that's just the nature of social media. You know, they literally like try to expose you to like negativity because it's proven that negativity drives engagement. It's sort of what they all do. So
yeah, it's unfortunate that's the case.
It is what it is.
It seems like this could be a fun one to end on. DJ Hawk here asks, who is more of a mark, Steve or Larson?
Oh, wow. I think it's me, right? Like, I kind of feel like it's, you know, like, okay, well, what do you define as a mark?
Are you a mark for Cody?
Yeah, of course I am. Absolutely. Right. You know, that's one thing that I've seen people say, oh, they shouldn't use. I've seen wrestlers and fans alike say, mark is such a negative term. Maybe it is, but I don't really care. I think it's a hilarious term. Yeah, it means like you're a sucker. You know, I'm a sucker for this person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for Cody. Absolutely. Yeah. That's sort of.
Am I a mark for any wrestler that you can think of?
I mean, kind of Gunther. Well, last night on my stream, we watched him running down Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of the best thing in the world.
It is. It really is.
It's so great. It's so great. Yeah, Dope here. He's a good judge of character. He says easily Steve and not even close. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I like to define my markism as passion. It's passion.
Yeah. You're passionate. That should be commended.
Right. That's what I'm thinking, you know. It's like, hey, I get into stuff. I'm a bigger mark for Star Trek though than any wrestler. I'm literally reading an oral history of Star Trek right now.
Yeah. How long is that book? You said it wasn't long enough.
Shit, man, I wish I had it in here. I don't know. I can look it up for you.
Well, how thick is it? Show me how thick it is.
I'm trying to see if I have something comparable. Hold on a second. It's like this here. It's on par. It's on par with the Shinsuke Nakamura book.
Oh yeah, that seems slight for something as vast as Star Trek.
Yeah, it is. Like I have the Saturday Night Live oral history.
That thing's huge.
It is huge. It is massive. Yeah, even like a Bill Simmons basketball book.
That's a huge book too.
Is huge. But it's all great. It's all great. Yeah. It's awesome. Anyways, that's a great question. Evie also dropped a bunch of subs here. We'll continue talking about the subs and bits we got on the Twitch. But for the YouTube, for the audio realm, thanks everybody for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.
Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today.